Hello everyone, welcome back to the adventures of Johnnykin and the Goblins. So, as the supper went on, Johnnykin became happier every minute. Whatever he wanted came flying, whatever a card was sent for it. These cards were the most obliging creatures. Some of them insisted on getting out of the silver cup and coming to the guests, falling before them on their knees and clasping their little hands as if imploring to be sent for something. The friar sent one for a cup, and he came. It was of gold and set with gems. The outside shone like a looking glass, and the friar showed Johnnykin that by looking at it carefully one could see, as in a mirror, all that was passing in the world. Cities, rivers, France, Italy, and everything in all countries became large when they looked at the particular place for more than a few seconds. This is the jewelled cup of the Persian king, Jem Shkid, said Friar Bacon. To drink from it, given knowledge. Let us drink, all of us. And now for some good old fairy music. Ha, mortal boy, a happy thought. I will send for the harp with Hop o' my thumb. It took from the ogre. So off went card messenger with Marjolaine's opera glass. Johnnykin saw it, flying leagues in the distance, over the sea, and finally disappear into the blue mountains. By and by, something large and winged rose in the same place. It came flying like an eagle, till it rested by them. It was the winged harp. On it sat a very small but fierce hero. This was the great Hop o' my thumb. When Chesme and Marjolaine at once seized and begun petting and feeding, the friar spoke to the harp in Old Welsh and told it to play his favourite tune. Then the friar sang his song. "Oh, brook, why are you running so fast to yonder plain? Oh, mist, why are you rising up to the clouds again? Oh, boy, why are you going still up to seek a dream? Oh, maid, why are you flowing still downward like the stream? She's weary of a cloud life, he's weary of the plain. Then let them meet and mingle and fell to earth in rain. In many a flower blowing, in many a rainbow sweet, in leaves and grasses growing, we'll see why they should meet." The northern light played finely on Marjolaine's cheeks as the friar ended this song, and Chesme took her hand and Johnnykin's. But the friar turned to the little boy Bloom and asked for his horn. Closing its smaller end, he turned it up, when something formed over the edge. "It's mead," said the friar, "and this was once the horn of Balder. Drink away, my mortal boy, drink deep, and become an immortal, for whoever tastes this becomes a poet." "Drink," said the goblin. "Drink," said Chesme. Marjolaine said nothing, but looked at him as he put the horn to his lips. It was like wine and fire and life and honey and light and foam and perfume and everything delicious. And as he drank, the sound of the harp rang and rilled as sweet as the mead. One more pull, mortal boy. That's for a drama. One more, that's for a volume of ballad. Now, a tremendous one. That'll be an epic pull-away. Hooray! Why are you all so kind to me? Said Johnnykin to Marjolaine. So very kind. Why, even Charlie Cake and Ale, though he quizzed me and chaffed me, seemed to respect me all the same. The friar smiled. It's because you're real, said Chesme. And kind, said Marjolaine. You haven't got magic, said Chesme. And juggling tricks, and delusion and illusion, and confusion, or quick wit, and a glib tongue. But when I wanted the riddle, you found it for me, which Charlie could never have done. For any real use, you, here Marjorie stopped Chesme with a glance, but the deep draught of the mead, which had made him a poet, and all he had seen that night, had made Johnnykin very intelligent and bold. I remember, he said to Chesme, that you were very glad to leave the condition in which you changed from one animal to another, and to become a goblin girl all the time. But I thought that witches like to be cats. Witches are low and vulgar things, said Chesme, though it certainly is a great lark to go off on a broom by moonlight. But I would not have done it for the world. Only once, in a way to please you. I'm of witch stock, but I hate it, and all our family have done their best to get above it. Well, as you say, like everything that is real so much, I should think you'd be a mortal girl. As Johnnykin said this, the two girls looked at him very anxiously. Their faces became pale, and all the fire of their fairy nature was in their eyes. What shall I say when a mortal speaks so to me, said Chesme, looking at the friar. What is the goblin law? You can only answer direct questions, replied the friar. But whatever a mortal asks a goblin must be honestly answered. Perhaps, said Johnnykin, it is not polite in me to ask such questions. But as he said this, he saw a sad, despairing look in Marjolaine's face. It is not much more impolite, said the friar, to put indirect questions in the form of remarks, though everybody does it. Put your questions directly, and they will be gladly answered. You, very gladly indeed. Johnnykin noticed that Chesme was looking at him as if in great fear and anxiety. Would you like, he said, to be a real girl? And with her whole soul she answered, yes. And you too, he asked Marjolaine, and she answered, yes, as if with wildness and joy at once. How can it be done? He continued. Marjolaine replied, when a mortal asks a goblin to go with him into life, to marry him or to be his friend, to join him or aid or serve him in any way, and to be true to him forever, and if he really means it and deeply desires it, then the goblin can go with him and become real. Would you like to go? Marjolaine smiled like an angel and said yes. Then come with me into life. He put his hand in hers and then spoke to Chesme. Will you come, he asked. I will. Now, I'm quite real, she exclaimed with pride and joy, but I'm afraid there'll always be something of the pussycat and witch and gypsy left about me, just as there will always be something of the angel on the monument about my lady Marjolaine. There will always be something of the goose left about you, Chesme dear, said Marjolaine. Will you come with your owl? Asked Johnnykin of the goblin. My boy, with joy. To look after you young people, you'll need me. You'll need me for sure. And you, he said to the friar. Yes, replied the good man. I'll join the party. I want to take a look at mankind as one of them. I've got several very fine inventions which would greatly benefit the whole world. Chesme and Marjolaine were weeping for joy in each other's arms, while the friar harp was pealing and ringing and the air was filled with perfume and soft voices and sweet farewells, ever heard all around. Winged forms with lovely faces, quaint droll goblins and merry fairies came to bid goodbye. But as it grew sweeter and more musical, it also became dimmer, until that Johnnykin knew was that he, sturdy English arms of a true old Friar Bacon, were gently holding him as he sank to sleep. Yes, he marked one thing, the beautiful round face of little Willie Winky, who came running up to Margie Lane and said, taking her hand, "Goodbye. But who'll see me dane on these days where I's going? Goodbye." And then lights and fairies and goblins and flowers and music and voices all faded away together. And that's the end of this part. If you hadn't guessed, what I was trying to say is that Johnnykin was probably feeling a little woozily drunk and fell into the arms of the friar as he was stumbling drunkenly, I guess. Anyway, that's this part finished. Hopefully you'll join me for the next part of Johnnykin and the Goblins. Thank you for listening and many blessings.